Ladies, gentlemen, and genetic anomalies, what is happening? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And if not, I hope that this stream makes your day at least a little bit better. I am your host, Nanu, coming to you live from the East Coast of the United States, and we have a lot of things to talk about today. Now, unfortunately, my day is actually going to be somewhat busy. I'm not going to have a lot of time to go off on all the things I do want to talk about. Maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow. I don't know, and then we can dive into more topics. But here are all of the things that I would love to talk about over the course of this stream and my next stream as well, because we got a lot of things going on. Of course, we did have just about a week ago the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance at the Super Bowl. I do want to kick things off by talking about that. I also went and saw Captain America, the new Captain America Brave New World movie. It was interesting. I thought it was actually good. One thing that was absolutely crazy to me was the overwhelmingly negative response that certain people are having online. It's super weird because the places where you would normally go to find reviews of movies, you'll basically hear nothing but hatred. YouTube, people making videos on YouTube, they're hating on the movie. Critical reviews, they're hating on the movie. Even like the IMDb score and like the Letterboxd score, those were all bad. The only place where the movie was getting a positive review was actually on Rotten Tomatoes, where it has like an 80% or something. But I was like, this is wild. Now, for my part, I gave the movie a 7 out of 10. My review is don't pop zins or you'll turn into the Hulk. Watch the movie and that'll make sense to you. But the one thing I did notice actually is if you go to IMDb and you go to the Captain America page, a lot of people actually kind of have rated the movie in the same way that I did. A lot of them have also rated this movie about like 7 out of 10. It's actually the most likely thing that people are to vote this on. They're most likely to say, oh, this is 7 out of 10. But what I noticed was there are a lot of like 1 out of 10s. So to me, like, these could be trolls. Usually you don't see, like, unless the movie's absolutely horrible, which this movie is not, you don't see like tons and tons and tons of like 1-star reviews. Kind of crazy, I think, and it doesn't match the distribution at all, because usually like the distribution will be at one point and then from there you'll see the ratings like branch off. So let's say this movie is actually horrible, then you would actually probably see like a lot of 3, 4 and like 2-star reviews around this 1-star review. But really all you see is just like this big jarring thing of like 1-star reviews. So I think that people who are thinking about watching this movie, they should consider that this movie is not as bad as the haters are making it out to be. I think the haters are sort of blowing things out of proportion. Now, is this a great movie? No, but if you wanted to see a great movie, you'd be going to the theaters and watching like a A24 film, okay? Like, come on, let's be honest here. I think the movie was good. I don't really want to get into spoilers. I will say that I don't necessarily like how the new Falcon character, who was Torres, by the way, not Sam Wilson. I don't really like how he was positioned in the third act. I didn't mind the humor. I think this had some of the greatest like Marvel humor in like recent years, because people complain about like the Marvel humor a lot, but the humor in this movie actually felt very, very organic. And I want to say that Anthony Mackie has some history in playing comedic roles or being in comedic films. I could be wrong about that, but I was watching the movie and I was like, oh, this actually almost feels like Anthony Mackie like kind of took the reins on the humor here, because it doesn't feel like the way most of the humor is written in the MCU. I liked that. I think the action set pieces were fine. They were well done. Now, I will say, to be honest, I have never really been the biggest fan of the Falcon's suit in general. So I don't love the Falcon. I don't love Sam Wilson's, Falcon suit as Captain America. I don't know. To me, it's like it feels impractical because it's like, oh, you know, why not just give him a jetpack and he'll have a smaller profile? You can't like clip his wings or anything. And one thing that's actually kind of cool is that he has like an aerial suit which is white, which has the wings, and then he has like basically like an earth suit which is like blue, and it doesn't have the wings, but it does have a jetpack. So I thought that was kind of cool because at one moment he used it in a fight scene, and I thought it was really neat. I was like, that's cool, because I think jetpacks are cool. But I think the plot was fine. There were a lot of villains in the movie, which I think might throw some people off. I know some people it threw off, but still, it didn't really throw off, you know, the people that I watched it with's enjoyment of the film, because at the end of the day, they really got down with it, and they were big fans of it. So, but yeah, it's not nearly as bad as people say. I think if I had to give the movie major knocks, I think I'd have to give the movie major knocks on how the dialogue was handled in some moments, because the way they did the dialogue for certain moments, I think a great example of this was in like The Forge, where there's this main character and she's in a barber shop, and her sister stops by to visit, but we don't really know who she is. And so as soon as the sister comes in, she's like, I love it when my sister comes to visit me. And it's like, oh, okay. So you're literally just saying this so that we know that they're literally just saying that just so that we know that this is sister. This is just exposition. That's sort of like ham-fisted in a realistic scenario. And kind of they do something similar in Captain America Brave New World, where it's like, oh no, this is what the villain wanted, when like we spent the last 15-20 minutes establishing what it was that the villain wanted. It's just like and there were like a couple of the moments like that, but they were very, very minor. Like honestly, this movie was fine. It's one of the better movies that the MCU has come out with lately, and I think it really shows that Marvel's on the come up. If this is like a trajectory, we're starting at a really good point here, where it's like these movies are kind of bad, they're kind of mid. Now we're moving back up with Captain America Brave New World. I'm still very, very excited for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts looks like it's going to be the best Marvel superhero movie of the year. We'll see how Superman is, but I think that movie looks better than Fantastic Four. That Fantastic Four trailer was not a great trailer. I'm shocked that there's so many people online fawning over it. It does nothing for me. And why is Galactus so small? I don't understand. I know this is not supposed to be a general Marvel video. I know I'm sort of rambling here, but yeah. Anyways, Brave New World's fine. I gave it a 7 out of 10. You know, you're gonna have a good time if you just sit back and accept the film for what it is, rather than expecting it to be the best movie in the world. It's not nearly as bad as all the rumors made it out to be at first, where it's like, oh, it bombed test screenings and stuff. Like, I don't understand why it would have bombed those test screenings with this particular version, unless they wanted something a little bit more creative, because it does borrow a lot of themes from Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War, like a lot of like story beats and stuff with like who the villain is, or the villains are and things. So maybe that's it. But honestly, it's like, man, if you're making the same thing over and over again, I don't understand why you're gonna hate on it as long as it's still good, you know? So yes, they copied their own homework here, but you know, at the end, I think it deserves an adequate grade, so I rated it appropriately.
Said in the chat, Red Hulk carries the film.
I disagree with that. Red Hulk was great. Well, yeah, Red Hulk was fine. He worked better in the movie than I thought he would based on the trailers. I hated every moment of him being on screen in the trailers for some reason, even though they ate with every single one of those trailers. But
in the chat,
I do agree. He was great in this film.
Disney should stop hiring middle school kids to do the work and hire actual writers.
No. The movie was actually fine. It was actually fine. You should go watch it. Also, Julius Ona, the director of this movie, there were some good directorial choices here. Like, there were certain shots. Now, I think a lot of those shots were from the reshoots, but there were shots that made like great use of like space and contrast. There's like this one moment where the main character goes to this particular place to speak to a specific villain who he just captured or just had contained, and the way they did the shots were like incredible. There's like this shot where they're basically in a tunnel, and so there are no lights over them or in the tunnel, but it's like open and it's like sunny outside, so it's like super bright behind them. It's extremely backlit and they're just shadows and it looks amazing. And I'm like, when would you have ever seen an MCU property with cinematography like this? Never. So I thought that was really cool. There were some creative choices with the directing there. I do wish the whole movie was in IMAX scope though. I appreciate how many moments were in IMAX scope, but I was like, why don't you just put the whole thing in IMAX scope, man?
The Angry Canadian. Said in the chat. No,
Let's see. Imagine if I made a movie called Prehistoric Lands and none of you decided to review it. The movies would be PG-13. I would watch and review it. Any movie you make, I would watch and review. High key. By the way, I got new glasses. I don't know if you guys noticed. I got new glasses. There's actually a funny story behind me getting these glasses, by the way. So this all starts with me being lazy and not doing regular like eyeglass checkups and things, like checkups for my eyes, or getting new glasses regularly. So there are these glasses here that I think I got about 3-4 years ago. Oh man, they're dusty because I haven't put them in a case or anything. These are actually my favorite lenses of all time that I've ever had. I'll just put them on for you guys' benefit, even though I'm not gonna be able to see with them. They're very, very cool glasses. I love the frames. These are Ray-Bans, I believe. I think they look great on my face. And my prescription rarely changes for my eyes, which is why I never really thought, you know, oh, I'm gonna go get new glasses. But man, age certainly caught up to these lenses. Age caught up to these lenses in a bad way. Here, let me show you, because other than the dust on the lenses, which is normal because these are old, you notice anything in particular about these glasses? Here, I'll just show them to you. Notice anything about these glasses? Yeah, the rubber ends of these things literally just like wore down and deteriorated. And you know, you see how sharp these are?
Said in the chat. One problem with
you see how sharp these are?
Products that Lego does well is the building
what this means is when I go to put these on, it literally digs into my skin and like makes cuts like on the inside of my ear. So I'd be wearing these glasses and then I would like take the glasses off and there'd be like blood everywhere. I'm like, dude, what is this? And so then I realized that I couldn't wear those glasses anymore. And so I was like, okay, this is fine. I have contingency plans for this, because ever since I've been wearing glasses, I've always had like 2 pairs of glasses. One pair has been the main pair, and then I would have an older pair of glasses, which were the backup pairs in case like my glasses broke or whatever. And so I did have a backup pair. I started wearing these. I started wearing these glasses. Here, let me move the mic up so that you could get the proximity effect. Oh dang, I literally ripped it up off the mic stand. But I was like, okay, I've got these backup glasses. I'll just wear those. Well, the problem is I've been wearing them for like a year and a half, and they were already old when I had them. So what ended up happening was, and these are a little dusty too, but what ended up happening was they got these scratches because the lenses just aged, and so the lenses just sort of started peeling. I don't know if you can see, but the lenses just sort of started peeling, and you know, of course, that's no good. Now, I mean, I could have kept on wearing them, because my prescription rarely changes. I actually recently got a checkup for my eyes, and my prescription still hasn't changed very much, but like, it's not very aesthetic. Why am I walking around with glasses with the lenses that are peeling all on the insides? So I went and got these. Actually, the reason I picked these lenses was because I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a little Pinterest board. Unironically, yes. I was like, I'm gonna make a little Pinterest board of the lenses that I want to wear. And so what I'm gonna do is, like, they're all gonna be Ray-Bans, but I'm gonna go and get like generic lenses that look similar. And so that's what I did. I'm not gonna pull it up on my computer, because I don't even know if I'm logged in on Pinterest on my computer. But let's see, where's the picture? Here we go. Now these don't look exactly the same. Of course, they don't look exactly the same, but they look close enough to me where I'm like, okay, you know, the style is close. I'll just go with these. And so that's what I did. So these are transitionals, by the way. So like when I go outside, they turn into sunglasses, which, you know, was really big for me. So in the future, I might get other frames, but for now, actually not just for now, these are going to be my mains that I'm rocking. So I'm pretty hyped about that. Let me read the chat, because I got some more chat messages here. One problem with the Lego third-party Lego products that Lego does well is the building stability. They're weak? That's weird. Prehistoric lands is, imagine if Jurassic Park were a darker film. Is it not dark? I've never seen the movies, but I assumed that they were all dark. All right. So let's get into some of these topics. I already spent a lot of time doing like some just chatting stuff, but I do want to get into some of these other topics too while I have the time. The clock is ticking, but let's see what we can do. So I watched the Kendrick Lamar performance, and before I say much about it, I just want to clarify, yes, you know, I am black, okay, despite not being a huge Kendrick fan and having voted for Donald Trump. I am black, so keep this in mind. But yes, I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. A lot of it was I grew up basically only being allowed to listen to Christian rap music, and Christian rap music is pretty good now. So to me, it's like, you know, well, why should I switch to watching rap music that doesn't really reflect my values as well as other rap music, especially like rap music that's like cleaner and I can play it in front of a larger audience. So I'm mostly in like a Christian rap fan and a hyperpop fan, to be honest. So I don't listen to a lot of non-Christian rap, but I did dive into non-Christian rap a little bit this past year with all like the Kendrick versus Drake beef and all that stuff. So I know enough about Kendrick Lamar to understand why people like him so much and understand like his genius and greatness and all that stuff. But I'm not like a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, so I don't know like the nuances and all the backstory and the symbolism and all the things he likes to use whenever he does his big performances. That said, I thought both the choice of Kendrick Lamar and the reaction to Kendrick Lamar as a Super Bowl halftime show performer, they both were very, very interesting to me. Because, first of all, I do like it when rap is incorporated in the Super Bowl halftime show, right? We did have that Dr. Dre show where they sort of saluted Dr. Dre's legacy by having Dr. Dre DJ when like Eminem, Kendrick, 50 Cent, I think some other folks hopped on the stage too. It was like a big, massive rap medley that sort of celebrated decades past in popular rap music. I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. With all of that said, and Kendrick Lamar being one of those people, Kendrick's moment was actually one of my favorite moments of that halftime show performance, because the choreography that he did with his dancers and the cinematography as well that he, I assume, coordinated was really well done. All of that said, I do think it was an interesting choice to have Kendrick Lamar be the halftime performer for this Super Bowl, because one thing about the Super Bowl is that it is, when they pick the halftime show performers, generally speaking, they will pick performers that reflect like the most popular musical acts for like a wide audience. And actually, let me look this up here. Halftime show list Wikipedia. And here, let me see. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's like a wider audience. So that means they're not gonna pick artists generally who appeal to people who are my age. I'm basically 25 at this point. They're going to try to appeal to people who are like middle-aged and older, kind of like just like the general Super Bowl audience. So it really surprised me when they picked Kendrick Lamar, because Kendrick Lamar is sort of, yes, he's probably the most popular among middle-aged people. Like younger people probably aren't fans of him, but I think people who are like super old, not super old, but like older, are not gonna be big fans of Kendrick Lamar either. Like Kendrick Lamar, he's pretty popular for what he does because he makes like if mainstream conscious rap is a thing, Kendrick Lamar is its star, right? He is its pioneer. But all of that said, I think that if you were to compare him to other rap acts, Kendrick Lamar is not nearly as popular or famous. Now he does have hits, and he played some of those hits, but when it comes to picking like rap artists, I would have picked someone who was like a little bit more popular, has a little bit more mainstream appeal. It's interesting because like to me, Drake is like the obvious pick for the Super Bowl. But, you know, of course, you know, Drake is hit with all the controversies from the Kendrick Lamar rap beef. So it doesn't really make sense to invite him. Now, I do think that to an extent it made sense to include Kendrick Lamar because of the rap beef. It sort of brought him up to the top of the rap game. More people were talking about him last year than any other rapper, I don't think, in the past year, 2024. So I was thinking they picked him pretty literally because of that rap beef, and they thought that that rap beef would keep him relevant for so long that he would still be relevant by the time that the Super Bowl came around. And let's be honest, he kind of is, right? Not a whole lot of people were talking about the rap beef, but people were still hyping up Kendrick Lamar, especially because he released GNX as well after that whole rap beef. So people were like, yeah, this dude's epic because, I mean, he is a pretty good artist. But if you look at historically, when it comes to who's been invited to Super Bowl halftime shows, we've had Usher, massively popular artist. I haven't listened to a lot of Usher music, but massively popular artist. Rihanna, massively popular artist. You know, we get the Dr. Dre halftime show, which was pretty epic. The Weeknd, massively popular. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, those are massively popular artists. Maroon 5, Justin Timberlake, Lady Gaga, Coldplay, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, Beyonce, Madonna, the Black Eyed Peas, The Who. You know, all these folks. Now, I will say this, that for me, like a lot of these artists, I don't really like Shakira. Man, you ain't hear me bumping no Shakira. Jennifer Lopez, I barely even knew that she made music. Maroon 5, they have some good songs, but just in general, very bland and generic. Justin Timberlake, not a fan. Great voice though. Lady Gaga, meh. The people that she inspired are far better than she is. Coldplay, that's coworker music. Katy Perry, I do have a soft spot for Katy Perry, but even she's kind of cringe. Bruno Mars is all right. He also has a great voice. Beyonce, fantastic singer and vocalist, but I've never been a big fan of her music. Like, these are all artists that, like, they don't make music in the style that, like, appeals to me. And so it was actually kind of funny because whenever I see these people like performing, like who we're gonna get next in 2 years, like Jelly Roll or something, whenever these people come up on the stage that are performing music in a style that like I don't get or particularly like, I'm always sort of like rolling my eyes. So it's kind of like funny to me that now there's like this massive cacophony of, let's be honest, mostly white people who are running around complaining and whining about how bad the halftime performance is, and now I'm like, haha, now you know how I feel. But the one difference that I would say between me and them is whenever I saw those performances, I would maybe question the instrumentation or the composition of the music. But at least as performers, I think they all have done good jobs, at least from what little I've seen of those halftime shows. They all have done good jobs. Like they're excellent vocalists, they have good stage presence. They don't pick people who are going to be bad performers. And they did the same thing here. This halftime show was pretty good. Cinematography was great. I think that maybe he could have done a little bit more, but still, like, dude brought a whole GNX out there. Like, we're not going to complain too much about this, are we? Like, come on. No. I thought it was a good halftime show. There are a lot of people who think that rap isn't music. So of course we see a lot of those like ridiculous takes from like Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and all of those folks. But it was just very interesting to see some of the backlash of it. I thought the performance was all right. That was great. Of course, because I'm not a big Kendrick fan, I don't understand all the nuances of everything that he was trying to say and like the messaging and some of the songs that he picked and the interlude speeches and things. But all in all, I think it was fun. I think it was fine. I think it was pretty funny that a lot of the critics were sort of echoing what Samuel L. Jackson said as well. It was like too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. I thought that was funny. Although my mom did complain that she couldn't hear what he was saying, and listening back to it, I kind of agree that it was not easy to hear. Although, because of his voice control, it was breath control as he was running around on stage, he did do a pretty good job of enunciation, as good as you can do. You know, those SM50s or whatever they're called, they're not the greatest mics for, you know, catching someone who's like running around and stuff, everything they're saying well. Is it SM50? SM50? I don't know. One of those microphones. DJL in the chat says, just found out I have astigmatism. Oh, you need glasses too then. Well, I have some extra ones. Here. You want these? They'll make your ears bleed, but other than that, you know, I've got a PO box, so. DJL React says, I'm actually watching Kendrick's halftime show, LOL. Oh yeah, yeah. Go watch that. Go watch that. The VOD will be up later. But yes, fantastic performance. My mom is 40. She has been quoting the halftime show the entire week. Drake, overall Kendrick or Drake? I mean, overall Kendrick or Drake? That's a great question. I think I'd have to go with Kendrick. Now, I'm not a massive rap fan. I like Drake's beats better than Kendrick's in general. But I will say, I think that Kendrick is just a better rapper. It's just like, after a while I listen to Drake and it just feels all too predictable. Like, why would I listen to more than 5 Drake songs on purpose? It feels like he makes the same song over and over again, mostly, especially with like the flow and stuff. And it's like, it's fine. But you know, I'm only gonna listen to so many songs if all your songs sound the same. I think that's why people stop listening to the Baby, isn't it? Well, that and the whole weird Rolling Loud thing. That was a whole thing. Katy Perry's music, when the halftime show happened, they were actually good. Yeah, I think so, because she had like a bunch of hits, and I think that's actually around the time I was listening to her as well. I think her music is okay now, but I don't know, just doesn't hit the same. That time show is my favorite of all time. Actually, I think the Dr. Dre one was better. I don't know if you guys have seen the Dr. Dre one, and I'm not going to play like a whole lot of that halftime show, but I thought that one was better, honestly. I thought it was cool how they brought out so many people, and they just played more iconic music. The National Football League, welcome. Like, the thing about the Kendrick one is that he played like 1 or 2 deep cuts, and every single the difference between that and this is everyone you're gonna know literally every single one of these songs. To the Pepsi Super Bowl. And also another thing too is I think the set design was way better in this one. Like, bro, like, yeah, I'll turn on the auto deck, but like, because you just go watch this on YouTube. Like, dude, you're not really beating this. Like, so he had like Snoop Dogg hop up on the stage here, and then there was like this whole thing underneath them. Like, look at this. Look at this. Like, they have like these cars, they have like these like mobile sets. It's all like really cool. And then they had this moment, which was insane. This is one of like my favorite moments of watching any live performance ever. Watch this. This is crazy. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip the party like it's your birthday. So like literally he is like levitating like upside down live during a live performance. Like, I don't even know how, it probably wasn't that complicated, but it was just like very cool and impressive. And like, so like all these songs like massive hits. Oh yeah, I forgot that they brought Mary J. Blige up there as well. And then who else? Oh yeah, look, Kendrick. Oh yeah, I love how they move the camera with this. See, look at the cinematography. Like this. Okay, I don't want to get flagged for copyright, so just go watch this. But like, it was really cool.
When I wake up.
Anyways, what else? Who else? Oh, Eminem, of course. See, like these are all epic songs, and these are all like massive hits. You didn't really get that with the Kendrick set this time. Not that he didn't play epic songs, or like massive hits, but there were like some deep cuts in the Kendrick halftime show where I was like, this is not like for a massive audience as much as like previous halftime shows have been. So I thought it was like a little bit unfortunate. Oh, literally, just as soon as I cut away, I get the warning. Yo, literally as soon as I cut away, I get the warning. Heads up, we detected video of your stream belonging to someone else. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. If you plan to continue, please ensure that the content owner has added your channel to their allow list. And I was trying to avoid breaching the copyright. I was talking over this stuff. I was playing clips and things, but they got me. They got me. Okay, anyways, I should probably move on before I get more copyright strikes, but the Dr. Dre halftime show was better. I'm not gonna die on that hill, but I'll certainly pass out on it. Kendrick played DNA and Humble, his biggest hits to date pre the beef, as well as all the stars. But you know, still, they're not. Like he played songs that weren't as popular too. That's my point. Like he played like an unreleased song as like his opener. Like, bro, that's not for a general audience pick. That's for your like more passionate fans pick. Just being real. All right. Oh, there was this thing that happened while we're talking about the Kendrick Lamar performance as everyone is. Kendrick Lamar and Pokemon got into some very, very minor beef when it comes to the whole performance.
Now we'll get into takes. Now, Chad, we're moving on from evidence. Now we're going to takes on said evidence.
With probably zero musical capabilities think that Kendrick Lamar didn't deserve the halftime show.
I don't know. Okay, I've got some people in the chat. Hey, chat. Do you guys think that Kendrick Lamar was popular, is popular enough to be in the halftime show? Now, let me just clarify. I think to be in the halftime show, you should be super popular with a wide audience of folks. I don't have to like the music. You don't have to like the music. I think Jelly Roll should have a halftime show, but I don't like Jelly Roll's music. I'm just keeping it real. But he's so popular. Shabuzi as well. But they're so popular, I think they should be given a halftime show. So deserving of a halftime show, at least in my eyes, doesn't mean you're the best artist or you're the best performer. It's you are extremely popular amongst the majority of folks within American culture. So let me know in the chat. You think, okay, DJL in the chat says he's popular enough to be in the halftime show. Okay. I think it's a little borderline. I don't think it's a given, but that's close enough that I might give that to you. That's one reason why I gave it to the chat, because I think it's close enough to, like, I can see the rationale for saying yes or no, like in either direction.
What do you mean? Like, sure, we could sit here all day and be like, oh, I actually think this artist deserved it.
Stop judging me.
It sounds like she's just mad that people have opinions. DJ Lala says, who in the world is Jelly Roll? Okay, maybe he wouldn't be the best choice then.
Guys, we listen first, and then we judge.
What? Only white people hated it. I didn't want to say it. As a white passing person, I didn't want to say that.
I do know some black people who didn't like their performance, but a lot of them don't like rap in general, so there's that as well. I don't like making this a race thing because there were some white people who really liked it. There were also some white people who very clearly were trying to co-opt it to push their own progressive messaging. It's a conversation for another day. But I think there were enough white people who liked it to where, like, I don't know, you can 100% make it a race thing. I think it's mostly a thing of there are certain people who hate rap music or don't understand it. And so they will look at any rap performance or any rap thing and just say that it's horrible because they don't understand it, right? It's like taking a normie to see abstract art. Like, bro, of course you're going to say it's bad. You don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, I get bringing up race a bit. You know, I even mentioned it in my original video talking about the situation, but because I do think the majority of the people who didn't like it were white. But let's not act like all white people didn't like the music. Let's not pretend that most people who listen to rap music aren't white. Hey, I said it, you know? That's just a fact.
But you saying that and me repeating, as a white passing person,
Yeah, she is a white passing person.
What?
She's like African or something, isn't she? She's like Moroccan, I think. Hey, Ziggy. Is Morocco in Africa?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Hey, Ziggy. Are Moroccans from Africa?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa's stupid. Hey, Google. Is the country of Morocco in Africa?
Yes. The country of Morocco is located in North Africa. It is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the west, the Mediterranean Sea to the north, Algeria to the east, and Western Sahara to the south.
There we go. So see, yep, Pokimane is a proud African American. She's tapped in with the culture, y'all. She's a real one. And she voted for Biden. She's more black than me.
Only white people hated it. I didn't want to say it. As a white passing person, I didn't want to say that. But you saying that and me repeating that message, I'm just going to let that sit. Okay, you know what pissed me off the most, respectfully, too? The people that I saw with this take the most were white men. Ain't nothing wrong with being a white man. That's not the point. My point is that
weren't there like white women who were complaining too? Couldn't remember, but
men that make the most of the demographic that watches fucking NFL throughout the season.
True. Well,
yeah, I get it.
Is that true? I don't know if that's true, but I do know they make up the majority of people who listen to rap music.
The Super Bowl is a little bit bigger than that, but it is.
But it's funny because, you know, that can be a little deceptive too. The majority of people who listen to rap music are white dudes. And the majority of people who hate rap music are their white parents. So, you know.
It is a massive portion of the target audience of that show. So I think it's fair enough, but all good. Keep going.
The point is that, you know, I feel like if you watched his performance and really took it in, you'd be like, there are some underlying messages that the performance is trying to convey, especially.
While that's true, it was like super vague. Like, I didn't understand what it was. Like, some people are reading a whole lot into Kendrick Lamar, and he was like 40 acres and a mule, this is more than the music. Or like, it was like, you picked the right person at the wrong time or something. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. But I don't know. I'm sure that they're like Anthony Fantano adjacent super sleuths on the internet who are going to decode everything down. They probably have the videos up already.
Guys, as I was say, what's the message? On Twitter? I agree.
DJ L says Pokey's Canadian. Pokimane is Canadian Moroccan. Oh, she's not in America. She's never lived in America. See, bro, I am winning myself brownie points with you guys right now as I'm proving myself to not be a Pokimane fan. I do know enough to know that the proper way to say her name is Pokimane, but I don't care. Let me look this up. Has Pokimane lived in America before? Not seeing anything saying that she's lived in America before. Interesting. Okay. Well, thanks for that, DJ LL. Good to have a Pokimane fan in the chat.
The message. Explain.
Ha! Billie Eilish. I think she'd be a good person to pick for the halftime show performance. Not because she's white.
Okay.
I mean, because she's so popular, she literally made like a James Bond theme song, okay? Like, bruh, what more can you ask for when it comes to halftime Super Bowl, Super Bowl halftime show eligibility?
Actually, during Black History Month.
DJL said, LMFAO, I'm not a Pokimane fan. Yeah, I know. I just knew that I would get you to send a chat message in all caps.
So you sitting there, again, respectfully, whatever, being like, oh, I don't think he deserved it.
If you make a point and without really any modicum of evidence, you jump to the conclusion that some criticism is unfair because of skin color, and then say, oh, another criticism, you don't understand it, and on top of that, it's Black History Month to be more accepting. I gotta be honest with you. That's not gonna fly.
I think the Black History Month thing was mostly a joke, no?
It doesn't really matter what month it is, what year it is. I don't care what day of the week it is, okay? You cannot just say that, oh, dude, you should understand this more because it's Black History Month. Brother, it's a live performance. Like, bro, like, what are we saying here?
It's just like, stop, please, please, please stop, please, please, shh, arrête, please arrête. And if you don't know what that means stop in French. Now you know.
Oh, French. Okay, she really is Canadian. Oh, okay.
Ils savent ce que je veux dire. Ils disent aussi, arrête.
Means they're also saying stop. They know what I'm saying. You should understand, man. This pandering to the audience here is getting old. Brother,
what audience?
That is the richest thing that you can say in this current moment. That is
how
so
is
rich
it pandering?
You watch this video, which you would consider this to be textbook pandering.
I don't think that she's pandering at all. She is barely giving a take. She's just making an observation that most people are acknowledging, and is not really saying anything particularly unique about that scenario. I don't know how that's pandering. It's like, man, we've been getting a lot of snow lately, huh? Why are you pandering to the climate control activists? Like, calm down, man. I'm just talking about the weather.
And you did that because I have a take that's different. Now, I'm on pandering. What a ridiculous analysis of what we just watched. I don't... Brother, again, you can interlace messages and symbolism in music and performances, okay? But if you say, oh, you didn't like it, it's because you didn't understand. You were not meant...
Well, that is actually true to an extent. Some people don't understand rap music, and that's why they didn't like it. Now, there's a difference between not understanding rap music and understanding the messages that Kendrick Lamar was trying to portray. I understand rap music, so I enjoyed the performance, but I didn't understand everything that Kendrick Lamar was trying to say. You can still enjoy it because rap music is a fun genre. The flow's good, the beats are nice, and the dancing is on point. Then, like, that's most of what you can ask for in a rap performance. You can have underlying symbolism if you want to, but you don't have to understand or acknowledge that in order to be able to enjoy it.
Hey, oh, you didn't like it? It's because you didn't understand. You were not meant to understand. This isn't some documentary or some puzzle that you're watching. The point of a halftime show isn't to give the world some puzzle to figure out and to guys, let me put down my beer and my peanuts. I'm at the bar right now. It's really fucking loud. Everybody's chanting some shit. Go Eagles, go Bumfucks. Oh shit, I'm gonna put down the beer and my peanuts. Put that aside. Let me try to work on this puzzle right now. What does he mean mean by this? Hold on a minute. Another song came on. Another puzzle. Hold on. What does he mean? Now I say, dude.
He's absolutely right here. But the one thing that I want to add, and I think I said this already mostly, but it's like, if you watched, let's say for example, you watched the halftime show, you didn't understand what Kendrick Lamar was saying, and you didn't like the performance, but you're like, okay, I'm gonna dive into what he meant by what he said. Dive into all the symbolism. And you're like, okay, I understand what he's trying to say now. And that doesn't magically mean that when you go back to rewatch the halftime show, you're gonna be bobbing your head back and forth like this. Like you might not. You might still not like the performance because you don't like rap music, or you don't understand it, or you don't think it's music for whatever reason, right? You think it's like, no better art form than scat poetry. That's fine. Is that scat poetry? I don't know. Slam poetry? I don't know. That's fine. There's a difference between liking and understanding the art versus liking and understanding the message. They don't necessarily have to go hand in hand. Hey, I've loved art that has a completely different message than what I even believe and stand for. But the art is great, so I enjoy it. So, I feel like that's not that hard of a delineation to make, right? Between, hey, I understand the meaning, I understand what this means, but I don't like the art, or in the other direction, I do like the art, but I don't understand the meaning.
This show, I wasn't entertained. It's because you didn't understand. Okay,
that's a good point.
You're dumb as fuck. Shut up.
There are a lot of Kendrick fans who are acting like that, to be fair.
Okay, you're fucking brain dead. Okay, if the whole thing is meant to be some form of double entendre hidden message, of course you're gonna miss the mark. But don't act like it's people's fault for missing the mark. Don't put the blame on the people that are watching it. Why they didn't get it.
Yeah, that's true. Because one thing about the halftime show is it's supposed to get people hyped, and like lit, and then like they'll talk about the halftime show for maybe a week or two, and like forget about it for the rest of their lives. That's like the role that most halftime shows will have in most people's lives and like viewers' minds. So for example, like ain't nobody talking about the Who's halftime show performance. Literally nobody's talking about that. No one even remembers that happened. Okay? So I talked to people who were like, oh, it's so cool that they invited Kendrick back because he was on the halftime show just a few years ago. People are like, huh? What? He was? So like I completely understand people hating on Kendrick for having deep symbolism in the music, because like it's not something that people watch annually, like one Super Bowl halftime show. Usually if you're gonna put deep meanings into music, you'd put it in like an album, right, that like your diehard fans are gonna like listen to over and over again. You'd put it in like a music video that occasionally people would like rewatch every like few years or so or something. But if it's in like a halftime show, man, these things happen every single year. Who's gonna go back and watch these old halftime shows like years from now? Not a whole lot of people. Not a whole lot of people. So yeah, it does make sense to be like, why did you put all the deep symbolism in your performance? Now, I think it's completely fine if you want to do that, and so that's why I don't really have an issue with it. But it's also an interesting decision to do, to put in these like deeper layers of meaning in something that is generally speaking viewed pretty casually by the average American.
That is a ridiculous thing to say. Everybody says the message, the symbol. Brother, what is the message? Bro, why don't you just say, you're dumb? Why don't you explain to me what the message is? Please explain it. The messaging is exactly what makes it really intricate and interesting. Maybe not on the initial viewing, but it gives something lasting. You can do both. Artists it is their craft and their skill. It is their acquired skill to be able to do both.
You really want me to break it down to...
That's what he did. That's what he did. He did both. He did both. He created... Oh, oops, I skipped forward. I didn't mean to do that. He did both. He created something that had deep meaning and was also enjoyable for the art that it is. You know?
You can do both.
He did do both.
Artists have it is their craft and their skill. It is their acquired skill to be able to do both.
You really want me to break it down to you? Well. Hi Mr. Cow. Much love from Saganelak Saint Jean. Chat spam tar if you subscribed and you didn't get welcomed to the jungle.
Divided America is the message. Not so I understand. Okay. I'm gonna say some shit and maybe people are gonna call me radical for this, okay?
XQC3.
Simple concept. Why do people use divisive language and divisive behavior to call out divisiveness?
I actually, that's an interesting point. Like, Kendrick Lamar, when he said like 40 acres and a mule, this is more than music. I was like, what do you mean by that? And then it felt like he didn't even expound on that. So I was like left a little confused. I was like, he's just trying to make people who are like anti-reparations mad? Like, okay, dude. That's a good point.
Explain to me how that makes any sense. Oh, dude, you didn't like this? That's because you're fucking white. Dude, that's ridiculous. Like, bro, that's divisive. Like, how are you going to say we need to progress past being divisive? Here, let me show you what to do.
Why is there so much echo in his room?
I'm gonna divide us more, but more on our side. Bro, why don't you just lead by example? I don't understand it. How is that to do? If you know better, do better.
No rando from XQC's chat is going to be in the Super Bowl halftime show. Let's be honest.
What a dumb take.
There is no.
I don't understand getting so heated over this. It's not that serious, to be honest. An interesting discussion to be sure, but yeah, I really don't think it's all that deep. I really don't. Halftime show was fine. It was fine. It was fun. It was exciting. The choreography was amazing. I think the set wasn't incredibly elaborate, but he brought the GNX, so you can't really complain too much about that. DJ L said Ariana Grande would be a great pick too. Yeah, Ariana. Have her on before Jelly Roll. But yeah. Yeah, put Ariana Grande out there. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up with the stream. I've got some things I got to attend to, but I did want, and actually, really, I technically should be heading out right now, but I didn't want to end the stream before talking about this. Now, hold on. Before I do this, let me look up the definition of genocide. That's how you know it's gonna be good. Okay. Okay. All right. So, the definition of genocide is the deliberate and systematic killing or persecution of a large number of people from a particular national or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that group or that nation or group. Now, one definition I've seen, I forget which definition it was, of genocide is that it also refers to the massive displacement of a particular ethnic group. Now, the reason why I think this is relevant is because, you know, as much as I want to like Trump and as much as I've supported Trump in the past and I've voted for Trump numerous times, I think that he's made a statement here that sort of is more genocidal than anything we've seen from Bibi Netanyahu. He has claimed, actually, I don't even think I have the article here. Did I? Let's see. Let me see if I can find an actual original link to the original article about this. There's a short video here. I'm not going to bother to watch it. But essentially, Donald Trump said, hey, we're going to take over Gaza and kick all the Palestinians out in like actually clean it and make it like a super dope and cool place that like people can come over and live in and like vacation here and things and have a lot of fun. Like it's rubble, it's a mess, we need to clean it up, and you know, to do that we're gonna need to kick out the Palestinians. And then later bro was like, hey, and on top of that, we're not gonna let the Palestinians back, they're gonna be banished, never to return. I'm like, what? Now, Trump did later clarify that he's going to somehow, push out all these Palestinians without using U.S. troops. I don't know how he's going to do that. But, like, of all the things that Trump has done during his presidency, I think this is the one that I sort of cannot really praise or excuse. I think more than any of the other actions that he's done. Like, we're talking about literally kicking out all the Palestinians and not letting them return so that you can build it up and make it look really nice. Now, I've been talking to some people IRL, and they're more sympathetic to Trump's stance here. But I made this point. I was like, well, one of my goals, or one of the things I'd like to see in the Middle East with the Israel-Hamas war, as uninformed as I am, that's why I stopped making videos about the conflict, was I would like to see the like Gaza in particular be a lot, like the infrastructure be built out so that it's a lot more habitable. Like, yes, technically people can live there, but like, bro, the water ain't really desalinated. You know, you've got Hamas tearing up the running water systems that the UN RWA built for them so that they could like launch rockets at Israel. Like, the country should be more self-sustaining than it is. Literally, Israel was able to flip a switch and cut out the lights in all of Gaza. That shouldn't be how things are run in Gaza, considering that Gaza is, I believe, an independent state run by Hamas. Completely different country. One country should not have autonomous control over the power of another country. Now, because Hamas is running everything, they're just going to take every bit of infrastructure that we send over there and use it to build more, stuff for the military to fight Israel and kill more Jews. So I understand why one would say, oh, we need to go into Israel. That's why, like, I think Netanyahu several months back was like, yeah, we're going to go into Israel. We're going to go into Gaza and we're going to rebuild and like send in troops. Like, some people were upset about that. I understood that, because you need someone who's not Hamas and maybe not even the UN to go in and rebuild everything. I mean, the UN somewhat sympathetic to Hamas, which is why I think there is some danger in having them rebuild things, but it's better than doing nothing. You can't trust Hamas to rebuild the infrastructure when they're the ones who tore it apart, to be honest. And so to one extent, I'm like, okay, I do like that Trump wants to make Gaza way nicer than it is. It sounds like he even wants Gaza to be nicer than Israel is. But at the same time, I'm like, can't you do that without displacing all of the Gazans? Like, people have done like rebuilding. Like, I think, aren't people rebuilding in Hawaii after that fire? I think people are already thinking about starting up rebuilding projects in California. Maybe you do need to kick people off. I'm like, at least can't you just like bring tents over, have people sleep in the tents while we rebuild their houses? Or what you can do is, Gaza's actually not like the smallest bit of land in the world. Why not put all the Gazans in one side of the country, rebuild the side that's vacant, then bring them back over into the place you just rebuilt, and then build up the other side? I feel like there's gotta be a way you can rebuild Gaza without kicking out all the Palestinians. I don't think that it's needed. But Trump decided that he wants to do this. Maybe he whispered into the ears of some of the more ardent or hardline or nationalist Zionists over in Israel when deciding to do this. And, the announcement certainly didn't seem to make Bibi Netanyahu particularly upset. I think in large part because it's like, those pesky Palestinians aren't going to be bothering us anymore, especially because they're probably not going to be a unifying force, because they're going to be split up across the other Arab nations in the area. But it's just unfortunate that Trump decided to do this. Now, maybe this was inevitable, right? Maybe it was inevitable for all the Palestinians to no longer be there. And being displaced like this is certainly better than being killed in war. A war that they started, but war nonetheless. So maybe this isn't even the worst possible outcome, but I think it's just sad and unfortunate. Like, I would love to see the Palestinians just be able to live there and the infrastructure to be rebuilt. But it doesn't really seem like that's even necessarily what they want. It seems like they would rather die. They'd rather die than take what they have and build it up to be something better. So it's a shame what's happened. I'm not happy that Trump proposed this, even though it's not the worst possible option. I think it's just too close to genocide for me to get down with, especially when we've had folks on the left for years now saying that Israel is propagating a genocide against the Palestinians. And while this is not Israel propagating this potential genocide, I think that it certainly does still lend some credence to the claims that, this whole thing was genocidal and the whole point was just to eradicate the Palestinian people. Not that the people themselves are getting eradicated, but this uproots a massive, culture is largely tied to how a group of people interact with each other, as well as, their habits and their ties to like lands and traditions and things. So by uprooting the Palestinians, you're definitely going to be disrupting Palestinian culture in a very major way. I think it's very unfortunate. And I've been someone who's very vocally anti-Hamas. And many would say that I'm pro-genocide or whatever. They'd say that I'm anti-Palestine. I might think I'm like inhumane in my attitudes towards them. I thought that Asmongold was right when he said that the culture was backwards. I think that of pretty much all of the Islamic nations, not that every culture, not that there are perfect cultures, but I think that the way that Hamas treats gay people, the way that Hamas treats women, right when it comes to the rights that they afford, not a fan. Not a fan. I think I just don't like it. But that does not mean that they deserve to be wiped out or have all their people moved or transplanted or whatever. Like, you could have a culture I don't like. North Korea has a culture I don't like, right? Where it's like, strict authoritarianism, isolating your people from the rest of the world and starving your citizens. Not a fan. I don't like that culture. I don't like those political policies. But at the end of the day, they have a right to run their country how they want, right? As long as they don't nuke us, we shouldn't be going in trying to change their way of doing things. Generally, I would say same thing with Gaza, although right now, of course, they initiated this war against Israel, most recently, the Israel-Hamas war. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. It's a very sticky situation. It's hard for me to make like a clean declaration about what should happen because everything is so complex, but I don't like this policy. I would like to see Trump rescind this proposal, but I don't think that's what he's going to do. All right, thanks everyone for tuning into the stream. That's gonna have to be it for today. Very, very busy day today, so I can't stick with you guys for too long. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. I've been busy this week, which is why I haven't streamed as much. If I'm not as busy next week, I'll be streaming more frequently next week. But movies have been pretty good lately, so, or at least like more interesting movies have been coming out theaters lately. So I might be busy for next week as well. We'll see. But I do want to give the all deserved shout outs to the two folks in the chat who decided to pop in the Angry Canadian. Thank you so much for hopping into the chat. Interesting to hear your thoughts on Captain America Brave New World. If you haven't seen Captain America Brave New World, by the way, definitely check it out. And DJ LL Reacts. It's nice to see you in the chat. I don't think I've seen you in the chat very often. So it's nice to see you pop into the chat once again. For those of you who want to see me more regularly, more consistently, there's a link right over here. It's right over here. Don't be shy. You can touch it. And it'll send you to my Discord server where you can chat with the other folks who are in my community. You can also send me suggestions for things to talk about in future streams in the React Requests channel. I'm actually paring down my Discord channel a little bit because I think we've got a lot of like bloated and empty and dead channels, so I want to narrow things down to what people actually want to use. But yeah, Discord channel. Go there if you want to chat with me or chat with other members of the community. Also, check out the Newbie Highlights channel if you want to see me more frequently. I upload videos there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Last week I uploaded an extra video on Thursday because I missed the previous Friday. But yes, generally speaking, it's noon every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you hopping into the chat, and I will see you guys later, I suppose. Peace out, y'all.